Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again, Jadis Joe here. Today we are going to talk about and discuss, eventually, after I'm done talking to myself, enemies are bad, is what I named this video. And really, my line of thought came from, recently The Division has released a whole bunch of videos called Agent Origins, or The Agent's Origin, or something like that. They're a great line of videos, live action videos. I'm going to have the links down below so you can check them out. But they're really good, not only showing about where the agents come from, but the different types of enemy factions that are in the game as well. You got the thugs, you got the cleaners, you got the Rikers, and it gives a nice little backstory on all the enemies in the game. But that got me thinking that why are they bad? I mean, especially one enemy type in the game, one enemy faction in the game is these people called the Cleaners. And I guess their background story is they're like all the municipalities, or they're all the like electric workers, garbage workers, stuff like that. They're trying to take back the city from the virus, and they go around and they clean up the city by burning dead bodies and, you know, doing stuff like that. And, you know, if they think you're infected or been exposed to people that are infected to the virus, they go ahead and kill you and burn you. Now, it sets up the one video, Ashes, sets up very well that these are bad people. That these are people that the agents, being the heroes, have to sit there and go ahead and try to defeat or try to kill at possible because they're evil and they're bad. However, if you take a look at it realistically, they're really doing a civil service. I mean, you got this devastating virus that sits there and has, you know, decimated the population of New York, leaving a lot of corpses around. And that a group of people came around and said, okay, we're going to pile them up in the streets and we're going to burn them for you. We're going to take care of this for you. Isn't really a bad idea, or isn't really even an evil notion. I mean, the step that maybe they went, or the idea maybe they went one step farther and said, we're going to clean everything we think is bad, or we're going to burn everything we think is bad, yeah, I could see that being considered evil. But the basic premise of them, or their basic core concept of them, is saying, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to clean up all the dead corpses, and we're going to, you know, try to clean up the city, is itself is a good idea. I mean, and really, if you think about it, the best way to clean up a city after an infectious disease is to burn stuff. Plus, on top of that, it's winter in the game, and it's hard to dig holes to bury, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, so you just burn them. But that might be my mind sitting there working a little too much, is that, are these bad guys that we are fighting in these games really bad? I mean, video game producers and writers really go to an extent to make the character feel like they're a hero. Feel like even though they're killing hundreds, if not thousands of bad guys, that we are really doing it for the just cause. While we couldn't be. And I know from a literary standpoint, you have to say, this guy's the good guy, these guys are bad guys, they get into it, cause drama, which makes people want to read on and makes the story interesting. But at the same time, my question is there a way to create a video game, or the way to write a story for a video game where the character himself may have some ideologies, or may have some, you know, ideas of how how the things are supposed to be, and he goes out and I'm sorry, I lost what I was trying to say there. But is there a way to give the player the choice to say, okay, I, you know, believe, oh, I want to do this, I want to obtain this, I want to do this in the game, and then having NPCs sit there and go, well, this guy's, you know, screwed up in the head because he wants to do this, we should fight him. I mean, I think it would be more interesting as having the character, or the player character, as the bad guy, or as, you know, just another person in the world trying to do something, and have the NPCs react to what he was trying to do based on their ideals and their feelings on the subject, instead of just having a world already set up to where, okay, you're a good guy. Here's a bunch of bad guys that are doing stuff. Go and kill them. It's just something that crossed my mind that, I mean, and I know it's not bad. I know it's the way that it has to be done, because I could sit there and complain about it all I want, but still I realize that you have to put bad guys in a story to make it interesting. And even if they're not like purely bad guys, you have to make them, you know, have friction with the main character. I mean, if you sit there and you look at it, Pride and Prejudice, there was no really big bad guy. There was some there were some off-colored people in that book, but there was like no really big bad guy that wanted to kill. I mean, hell, even Mr. Darcy, you know, could have been, was betrayed as this uppity, you know, dick of a man at the beginning of the story, but he slowly changed to be, ooh, the love of the life. But that's what I'm saying is, I know that there's no real way to change the fact that you can get away with, you know, taking bad guys or taking evil villains out of games or out of books or out of movies, but I'm wondering if there's another way to present them, or just present the hero, you know, to the world. I mean, and once again, I mean, going back to the Vision, in the gameplay we have seen, one of the first missions for you to do is to go retrieve the Doctor for the JTF. And you're sitting there and in the mission, if you listen in the background, when you go to save the Doctor, it says, oh, they're holding the Doctor hostage, having them, you know, heal and fix up their guys. And it's one of those things that if you really think about it, is you're doing the same thing to the Doctor that these bad guys just did. You're going in there and you're going to take the Doctor from these guys that had the Doctor to bring them back to the JTF so you have a Doctor. And yet the guys we're facing are bad guys because they did it first? It kind of confuses me, and I guess I would like that narrative history, or that narrative, what's the word I'm looking for? That narrative gulch we have to change, a way to say, okay, you're not a good guy, but these guys, or you're just a guy, and these guys have what you need or you want, and you go get them, instead of having countless times having the hero be portrayed as the hero even though he is doing bad and horrible things. And I guess that's where we come in as enlightened gamers, or we come in as gamers to sit there and be able to point this out, saying, hey, no, they stole the Doctor so they could get their people healed up. They're not bad guys. They're trying to survive. But they're opposite of what we want, which we want the Doctor, so we can survive, so we're going to go take it. So therefore, you know, it would be interesting in a video game to see the balancing of good and evil. Like sometimes, yes, you are the good guys. Other times, you are the bad guy. I think it would be cool if they play, or eventually somebody plays on that concept where the hero could be the bad guy, and they actually focus on it. Because there's a lot of times in World of Warcraft, especially, when I used to just go around killing Murlocs. You know, Murlocs were just in the middle of, you know, their little marsh house swamp complexes, and I would go in there and just kill them. Why? Because they were there, they were easy to, you know, get XP to level me up. And considering what I was doing, even though I was playing this hero of the Alliance, I was a villain. I was a genocidal villain to these Murlocs, because I would sit there and I would kill thousands of them to level up. But the game didn't portray me as a villain after I did that, because that's part of the game. But yeah, so that's my little rant on the subject. It would be interesting to see what your guys' opinions and ideas are on it. I could be totally off basis, but I don't know, because nobody has ever told me. But yeah, so please leave your comments down below. Really, I'm more excited and into your comments more so than your subscribes or your likes. But anyway, I'm Jadis Joe. Thank you so much for watching. Have fun and be safe, as always. Press the record button. Thanks for watching.